If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high-quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You're listening to Me and Paranormal You with your host, Ryan Singer. It's more fun to believe. Third year bonus.
I just love the dulcet tones that Alex Stein made many years ago on this program. Producer, musician, comedian, actor, Alex Stein composed the 30-year dots is what we call them. Welcome to another episode of Me and Paranormal You. This is the host of the program, Ryan Singer. I am a stand-up comedian, writer, actor, paranormal investigator, researcher, author? No. I have published a book. Self-published. There's no difference. The gatekeepers no longer have the ability to keep us book writers down. Book writers. I should put that instead of author. Book drawer. My book is a compilation of drawings in words and numbers. There's also some numbers in there. Anyway, how are you? I took last week off unexpectedly, unannounced. The unpredictable nature of the universe is such that you just never know when that's going to happen. Why did I take it off? Because I was in Florida. I was at a location where I have been now, 6 or 7 times. If you listen to the program, you know all too well in May of 2019 into early June, a terrifying experience that I had there that sent me into a tailspin, which it beckoned me to seek help from outside myself. I found a PTSD therapist. I still see my therapist on a weekly basis, talk to him on a weekly basis. If I'm traveling, usually we do via phone. We didn't do it last week because I was up in the mix, out in the field, doing the things. I am here to report that it was a wonderful trip. And you might be wondering, well, what happened? Was there anything crazy that happened? And I would be lying if I said no. Now, we believe... Now, this is where it gets interesting. We have decided upon a name for a new thing, a new creature. I don't know what we want to call it. We don't know what it was that one, possibly 2 people saw on separate occasions. Very similar, but they don't necessarily think it was the same thing. Full disclosure, they don't think it was the same thing. That's what they can't say. But it is a upright, hairless, white humanoid. Kind of creamy color, maybe to a certain degree. We're calling it the White Creeper. That's the name that was decided. The White Creeper is the name of this whatever the hell this thing was. I did not see it. 2 different people saw some variation. Ed and Tabitha saw some variation or something that was similar potentially. Now we have no idea. There's no prints. There's no physical evidence. So we scratch our heads and we wonder, what in the hell was that? Audio recordings of strange noises. One of them was debunked already, or not debunked, but explained as a barn owl. 1:30 in the morning, and you just hear the from the distance. It's just creepy noise to hear when you're, in darkness at 1:30 in the morning, kind of in the middle of nowhere, and you just hear I actually have that audio. I could slide it in here, maybe. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. Let's do it. Let's play it right now. It's about 6 seconds in to the audio. So it happens twice. It happens right before I start talking, and then it happens again when I'm talking. So keep that in mind. It's about 6 seconds in. Let's listen to that. Now, did you hear that? I don't know. It's strange. Now this thing is recording in stereo for some fucking weird reason. I'm just going to play that clip back three times, and hopefully by the time you hear this, it won't be in stereo. Okay, now did you hear that? Now, that hiss is a barn owl. I hope you could hear it over here. I tried to boost the volume. Anyway, that we got David Ellis figured that one out for us, I think within about an hour and a half of sending it over to him. So, I mean, hats off to David Ellis. We have sent David Ellis, Ed Brown is buddies with David Ellis. And we've gotten some other audio analyzed and compared to like an audio bank of known animal noises, etc. Most recently, before this one that just happened, was a creature that was making noises for about 5 hours out there on that same property about a month and a half ago or so. Now, you know, there's lots to talk about. There's lots of things that happened, and I'd love to get into more details about some of that. But some of that stuff will just have to wait until, you know, the documentary comes out. And what will the documentary be called? We don't know yet, but we're playing around with some different ideas. But why worry about the name when I have to go through 5 years of video footage? And not to mention still conduct sit-down interviews with everybody involved and write the story and figure that out. Like, why would I even worry about the name yet at this point? So as you can tell, we're a little ways away from that being a thing. I do have an update on Fitz. Friends in the Sky, the Investigation at Mutilation Ranch documentary about the investigation started by my friend and yours, Greg Feynman, who's been on the program a bunch. And, you know, him and Mama Sue, Dan Lindholm, myself, and Ed Brown spent some time out there researching the property. My friend Agnes has been out there as well once. Now, what we need to know about that is I will be scoring this documentary maybe sometime next week. I'll spend the next week doing that. But if you are in Northern California, I implore you, come see a stand-up comedy show. I'll be at the Savage Henry Comedy Club Friday and Saturday. Then I'll be in Richmond, California, which is in the Bay Area, on Sunday night doing a show. Now, so we got three nights of shows in the central Northern California area. I'm very excited about that. Come see some stand-up comedy shows. You know, you never know who you might see at Savage Henry. And Dave Stone, the one, the only, my buddy, Dave Stone, is making the trip with me and will be on those shows as well. So that's like, you know, that is a surprise bonus of all bonuses, right? So, I mean, what a pleasant surprise that is. So that's really kick-ass, and that we're going to be making a road trip together. It's going to be great. We're going to have a hell of a time, because we are actually concocting and working on a live show that we're going to be bringing to people this baseball season. So have you ever wanted a more adult play-by-play of a baseball game? Well, Drunk Baseball, comedians doing play-by-play. It'll be Dave Stone and myself. We will be doing play-by-play of at least one game a month. I don't know if we're going to be able to pull off one game a week right away, or we'll have to see, but it's going to be a live stream. You'll be able to live stream us while you watch a specific game. So the first one will be on, I believe, opening night, or opening day, or opening day weekend. We will be doing our first Drunk Baseball. That doesn't mean we're going to be drunk, but you never know. Who knows? We might be. No commercial breaks. You don't have to worry about that. We're going to be doing a bunch of fun segments. Most valuable baseball cards of whatever teams are playing, best haircuts, craziest names of players who have played for that team. All kinds of different segments will be happening during that. So it'll be watching a baseball game for grown-ups, basically, is the idea, and more fun, and less of the stuffiness that sometimes can come with baseball. Although a lot of announcers, a lot of play-by-play announcers on the radio and on TV, they're all very good at their job, and that will become glaringly apparent when Dave Stone and I have to talk for 2.5 hours doing a game. But hey, we'll get better as it goes, and it's going to be a ton of fun. So we got a lot of fun stuff planned for that. So we're going to be, cooking up some details for that. Also, March 11th will be the first live stream of Paranormal Carnival. That is a week from the day this comes out. Live stream. That'll be 8 p.m. Eastern, I believe. 5 p.m. Pacific. I'll be doing Paranormal Carnival. We'll be doing a live stream. We don't know who's going to pop in. It could just be me. If nobody's able to pop in, it could just be me talking for an hour and a half. I have some fun things planned. I'm cooking up some stuff for that. Will Zener cards be a part of it? Will tarot decks? Will art? Will, who knows what's going to happen during that. And I will have hopefully we get some people from all walks of life over the 12 plus years I've been doing this program, and other friends will be popping in for, varying amounts of time to join the Paranormal Carnival. That will be happening the first Tuesday of every month. So as a live stream. And then, it'll be, ideally that show becomes a once a week show, a once a week live stream. And then I can start doing late night on the Astral plane once a week. And then I just never leave my apartment, and I'm doing only paranormal broadcasting on the internet. And now I'm that guy. And then I'm, sneaking away to do comedy shows. And then maybe having a personal life of some kind, if at all humanly or extraterrestrially possible. Maybe at some point I'll be able to play pickleball and have root beer floats. I had a root beer float, and I'm like, why am I not having this every day? I've had 3 Shamrock shakes, and I've had the Shamrock Oreo McFlurry already. In case you're wondering, I'm a real one. I'm still here for you. We're going to be right back. Patreon.com/Ryan Singer. Let's get into it, okay? Let's get into it. No commercials on this one for anybody. You can be a free patron. No commercials. Just go over there, sign up, be a free patron if you want, and listen to this episode ad-free. If not, just, hit the fast forward button a few times. We'll be right back. And I'm back. I hope you're back as well. I mean, if you hear this, that means you're clearly back. We never left. That's right. And here we are. You might be wondering, well, Ryan, what'd you do today? Well, I got to tell you, what did I do today? I've been all over the place. I was at a library reading and writing and working. And then I had dinner with our buddy, Dr. Jeff Tarrant, is in town. And I don't want to spoil. I can't give it away while he's in town. Well, I'll make sure I plug it later for when, I'm not going to plug other people's, cool things that are happening until they give me the go ahead. But Jeff and I had a great dinner hanging out. I discovered a new restaurant in Pasadena, California, that I'd never been to before. It was a great time. We were talking about future things. We got big ideas. You know what I mean? We have big plans and fun plans. So it's just a question of trying to make, Jeff and I both agree that if we could only just have 48 hours every day and not do extra things when we've been given the double time of time allotted, so we could get all the things done we want to get done. I mean, I got a book. I got another book I need to write. I've got this documentary to finish. I got this other documentary to start. I've got the comedy special we'll be filming in April in Indianapolis, I believe. So more details about that soon. I'm booking more and more. I just booked Asheville in August, some 8th and 9th of August. I'm hoping to get to Louisville, to Knoxville. I'm hoping to get to Atlanta. All kinds of places. We're filling out the entire summer. I will be living on the road out of my car all summer. And that will lead to me being certifiably bonkers in the brain, which will make for a great comedy special, right? So, not that I have to be crazy, but I'm going to be off the rails. It's going to be great in a good way. I'm going to be off the rails in a very good way. So I don't know. I got to book other places. I got to book Chicago. I got to book Minneapolis. I got to try to, I just got to be. I will perform in a bookstore. More about that later. I'm getting ahead of myself. I have to not talk about that right now. I want to talk a little bit about. I want to read you something here. I have my buddy Kiki has reminded me that, or has reached out and let me know, like, oh, I really, encouraged me to do more of this. So I appreciate that. So thank you. So we're going to do some more of it. This was some thoughts on goodness that I wrote this afternoon at a beautiful library in downtown Glendale, California. If you're ever in Glendale, check out the Glendale Library. It's beautiful. Central. The central branch of the Glendale Library. Here we go. Goodness. Trying to find goodness in things and people shouldn't be a challenge. It is perceived as difficult from many or by many people. We are capable of great things, though, all of us, and this should not surprise us to know it. If a person is fed, housed, and generally feels safe, they will show you kindness. I don't doubt this. Do we or must we account for psychopaths? Well, probably yes, but we can't live our lives fearing everyone we meet is psychotic. If we go through life meeting enough people, we certainly will meet a psycho or two. Yes, I certainly have met at least one myself. But we often make the mistake of letting the minority or extremely small segment of a larger thing define the whole or dictate our overall impression of that thing. People are a great example of this. I have met thousands of people in my life, and I'd struggle with any real certainty to name more than one or two who I realistically think are psychopaths. This tells us something important. People are generally good and even pleasant. Most people are happy or at the very least polite when they meet someone. Even if they are exhausted or having a bad day, they go out of their way to not be mean or confrontational when they are interacting in real life with one another. Knowing this brings me joy and hope. It is by our very nature that we behave in this way. If you look back on your interactions with everyone in your life, not by number of interactions, but by number of people you've interacted with, you likely will see this pattern play out. Now, that is not to say that if you have thousands of interactions with one person who's bad, it won't skew your results, because certainly it will. But that's why I make this distinction. By number of people you've interacted with, not by number of total interactions in general. So what pattern will you see play out? So why? Why does the pattern play out? Why is it this way? And what does it tell us when we figure it out? We don't need scientists or sociologists to tell us the true nature of human beings. The studies, books, and reports they provide are fascinating and often illuminating, but they tell us what we already know. We want and need each other. If you asked 100 people what they desire most, I think by simply closing your eyes and feeling your answer, you would see that fundamentally it is the same or similar for all of us. We want to feel love. Love takes many forms. It can be knowing you are part of a community or feeling safe with a partner. It can be being provided for or providing for another person or people. Love can simply be feeling open to expressing truth in emotions. The themes of human existence are expressed over and over again in our stories and in our art. It is deep connection through a feeling of love that provides the drama in works of fiction and the visceral imagery in artistic masterpieces. Sacrificing oneself is always done by a hero because of love. The acts of desperation are usually driven by this same feeling or from a distorted view of it. In these stories, these characters resonate with us, and we relate to them because we also feel the same pull of love. It makes sense to us, and we are pulling for or rooting on these characters because we know why they are doing what they do, and we see ourselves in them. That tells you all you truly need to know about the human heart and our nature. Whatever stories reflect back to us, who we are and what we desire to be, will be the ones which are embraced by us, whether we are consciously aware of it or not. Whether it is a movie like The Notebook or a book like Catcher in the Rye, we see in drastically different ways how our desire to love and be loved unfolds. The stories of all religions are the same. Jesus' love and his willingness to die for it is what makes his character so appealing. Every epic tale or iconic story has love at its core. A love for someone or something is only a variation of the bigger underlying thing that is love itself. It is simultaneously tangible and intangible. That is what makes it so mysterious, yet understood to be also so accessible. A feeling that is amorphous, feels like magic or even mystical at times, while a smile and a hug are so immediate and simple to understand. It is the mysterious, the obvious, and everything in between that drives all of us and also often confounds us. It makes us feel stupid or foolish, but brings us certainty and courage. And all of us know this, even if we never think about it. It is the same as knowing you are sitting or standing, even though you aren't aware of it while you are doing it, except in that you are always aware of it when you are doing it. Knowing that love is the reason for all and the one connecting, unifying force allows us to surrender to its results. Once we move past the questions of why or what if or what does or if this, then what, only after accepting we have all already known the answer, can we then finally move into the awareness of love as a life. I am like the rest of us and seek to know mystery and unlock hidden truths about the universe and beyond. But what if I just simply realized the door was an illusion the whole time, and my unwillingness to be aware of embracing the simplicity of my existence is what made me believe a door existed in the first place? We don't need to find a key to unlock this door that doesn't exist. Maybe we just need to simply open our eyes to see we've been surrounded by all we need and all we know, and stop doubting that we know it. We don't need someone else to tell us we figured it out. Not even these words now are necessary for you to know. It is so obvious to all of us and always has been, but for some reason we thought it had to be more complicated than it is. We could sit here and judge ourselves for being so foolish and ridiculous, or we could just release the part of us that would do that, because it's the same part of us that got us into this mess to begin with. When in doubt, just ask yourself, what would I tell someone I love to do in this situation? Because you are someone you love, after all. Okay, we're going to take another quick break. That was some thoughts on goodness and love. I think you get it. We'll be right back. And we're back. I can't remember, full disclosure, there was an error in the recording, so at one point it was not recording, so I had to go back. But I think I already mentioned I had dinner with Dr. Jeff Tarrant tonight. We caught up. We have a bunch of fun projects that we can't wait to try to dive into and get into. I mean, can we get to all of it? I don't know. We're going to find out in the future. And obviously I'll be keeping you abreast and aware of all of those developments and ideas that we've got. I mean, if we just had more time and, give me some Robert Bigelow, like money, just like if you had like $1 billion, what would you do? You'd probably open a paranormal research center, right? And we'd get to the bottom of it, wouldn't we? That's what I would do. Let's just say I won the Powerball and I had $400 million, which is like More money than you could ever spend in a lifetime, probably. Although people find a way to spend it. But I would open a paranormal research center, and you'd all be invited. You could go go on your own course, do your own research, and then once a week, maybe we'd have dinners and you present your findings, update us. And if you didn't find anything, you don't present and you're still fine. As long as you're not you got to actually be doing something though, right? You got to be doing some work. You got to be doing some research. You can't just be like drinking gin and tonics and hanging out at the pool, at the salt pool or the freshwater pool or the hot springs or the hot tubs. Probably have all of those. You can't just be living that life. Although, maybe if you presented it in a way that was actually it was some kind of research program, you probably could. I mean, there's ways to. Were you like one of those people? I was one of those kids in high school and junior high, right, where I wouldn't do anything. I'd have like a science experiment due, and I wouldn't do it. And I'd show up. I'd wake up maybe half an hour early in the morning and be like, "Oh shoot, I better take this amplifier into the classroom and I'll plug it in and just put the receiving cord thing on my braces and show that I'm a human antenna, and that will be like science." I actually did that, and the teacher she was not impressed because I could pick up radio stations at home, but in the school, it was because it was a different location. I was unable to pick up radio stations. So she's like, I don't think you're telling the truth. And I'm like, I'm telling you, you can listen to AM radio at my house if I just put this cord in my mouth that has electricity coursing through it and touching it to the metal that's inside my head. And I was a human antenna. Does that explain why I am who I am today? Was I electrocuting myself on the regular, by the way, because it was really fun to be a human antenna. I got to tell you, I really enjoyed it. You just happen to randomly discover that. Who puts a cord in their mouth that's plugged into an electric, like a live electric current? I did, and and the mysteries started to unfold. Can you believe it? Anyway, so I'm not saying that you couldn't pull it off, because I did that. So I show them, and be like, "What do you got?" And they'd be like, "Oh, I did this thing where I'm trying to figure out if I go into if I go into freshwater, saltwater, freshwater, saltwater, if I alternate enough times, and if we do a hot tub with saltwater, freshwater, saltwater, I'm trying to understand if it opens up my pineal gland a little bit more." I'd be like, "Okay, keep me posted. Let me know let me know at the end of summer." Although we'd probably have it in a place where it's warm all year round, because I don't like the cold, right? Although something about, a whole campus, like the grounds being covered in snow, that kind of scream like paranormal research is being done here, right? And then, who knows? There could be tracks in the snow. What was I talking about? Oh, I don't know is the answer. So lots of big things on the horizon, potentially, hopefully. Who knows, right? The future is a mystery. But, now I'm looking at my rune chart. I got to tell you, we found these symbols in the ground that seem to have been drawn into the ground, dragged into the ground with a stick. I need to deep dive, research the symbols, the symbology, and the potential connection between a millipede and the symbols we saw. It was peculiar at the very least. Oh my God, it kind of looks like the wind. Kind of looks like wind. Hold on. I looked at a rune chart earlier and nothing came up, but okay. This is on my wall. I had to rip it off my wall. Wind. W-Y-N-N. The wind rune. Harmony, blessings, joy, affection, desire. Reverse, dissatisfaction, misery, fear, impatience, headstrong. Interesting. So this is, it's part of the Earth family, the first Et. Oh, interesting. I do have a rad, which is the wheel. It's about journey. I have a necklace with that on. People always think, oh, you're wearing your first initial of your name. And I'm like, well, even if I was, it's pretty cool, right? But it's the wheel. It's the journey. Messages, career, right action, control. Yeah. So I'm gonna put this right here because I want to be able to look at it every day. I want to be able to look at it every day. That's the best part about being a grown up. You get to do whatever you want. You know what I mean? Within reason, I suppose. Let's be responsible grown-ups. So I got to tell you about this meditation that happened. Okay, so if you're wondering, the symbols that were drawn, it appeared to be, and we do seem to have video and photographic evidence that it appears, you can see in some of the dirt, that clearly a stick was dragged through it, right? Now, could it have been an armadillo tail? Certainly. Do armadillos always walk around in the golden ratio? Well, it wasn't necessarily golden ratio. They look like backwards question marks, right? And there was 2 sets of 2. The interesting part about one of them is in between the 2 symbols in the ground, there were 3 devil's walking sticks, which is this plant down there that has long thorns, like inch-long thorns on it. And they were braided together in a way that wouldn't naturally occur. And at the very top was a dead millipede, I believe, not a centipede, but a millipede. And it was dead, and it was clutching the devil's walking stick. And in its stasis, or is that the word? In its stasis, and detritus. And then I suffers from a thing called detritus. I was walking around saying that earlier. We'll talk about that when we come back. It had that same symbol, that same shape. These were all separate observations by different people, and it painted over an overall picture of mystery and intrigue. We're going to be right back after this short break. And I'm back. I hope you're back with me. I don't even know how long I went on there. You can always hit the fast forward button, or you can go to patreon.com/Ryan Singer. Even all of this episode will be ad-free for free for the patrons who are just there and not spending a penny. You don't have to spend a penny to be a free patron. I implore you. Come join the community. You get the Mind Coups by Matthew Jackson. You get other things along the way. I'll be putting some other stuff up there. I believe I have the breaking news, archive.org, the Gateway Experience meditations have been taken down. Is it my fault? I'd love to think I had that much reach to where 25,000 people were downloading the Gateway Experience meditations and it got pulled down. I'd love to think this podcast had that kind of reach. The truth of the matter is it does not. Okay, at this time, or right now anyway. Now, so we will do some more searching. But then someone else has found it somewhere. So they're still out there. We'll get them for you. I'll put up a new link. If you're interested, you must act with immediacy and expediency because they'll probably get taken down. Full disclosure, it's like $1,000 probably, I think, to buy the meditations or something. But there's certain things that are for the betterment of humankind that seemingly are priceless and yet should cost nothing. But people need to keep the lights on and spread the awareness. And they have to pay their bills over there at the Monroe Institute. So you can't be mad at them, even though I think everyone alive should have this. But you can't be mad at them, right? They have to make their money. You know, I mean, they've got a beautiful campus, apparently. I haven't been out there yet. I will. I'll try to get out there if they ever let me. Maybe I've been banned and don't even know it. Have I been shadow banned from the Monroe Institute? Robert Monroe would not want me shadow banned from Charlottesville, Virginia, or wherever it is. He said so in his first book. It's weird because he wrote this like 40 years ago. It's weird that he would say, or when did, let me double check the first publication of this book by our guy, 1972. It's weird that 4 years before I was even born, he would say, please don't shadow ban Ryan Singer, even though he didn't know what shadow ban was because the internet wasn't around yet. Who knows? Maybe it was, and we just didn't know it. What was I talking about? A meditation I did at the location. I got to tell you this. I was doing a remote viewing liftoff meditation. It's wave 3, the first one in wave 3. Anyway, basically what you're doing is it's a guided meditation that guides you into the steps that you go through, and then you elevate out of your body, and you slowly but surely go higher and come back down, go a little bit higher than that one, come back down, teaching you to get out of your body, right? And it can be a very powerful and fun meditation. And using the HemiSync technology with the headphones and all that stuff. So Dr. Rebecca Foster was on the trip, and she went with me because we wanted to use the Muse, M-U-S-E, which is a device that measures brainwave activity that syncs to an app. Rebecca has one of these. Dr. Foster has one of these. And so I'm wearing the Muse, and she is observing my brainwave activity, my alpha, theta, gamma, delta, beta, whatever. And we're filming, right? And I'm sitting in a very special place on the property. There is a meditation, a prayer chair, right up on the edge of the large creek on the property. And that's where our friend meditates and prays regularly. And so it's a very powerful, very juiced up spot, right? So I get permission to use the chair to do a gateway meditation while measuring brainwave activity. Pretty cool stuff, right? And so we're doing that and filming, and then Dr. Foster is she's whispering commentary into it was just my cell phone. I got like the iPhone 15, so it's got a really nice camera. So we're just using that. We didn't want to set up a whole thing, right? And she's just whispering commentary of what she's reading. She's reading the moment too. If you've listened to my interview with her, or if you've heard me talk about her, or know anyone who has had a reading from her, she's an extremely powerful medium, and you'll get your noggin blown off, right? By getting a reading. Get a reading from her, get a reading from Rontowski. There's all kinds of people you should get a reading from. There's just not enough time in the day to get a reading, or to get a reading from all these people, right? That are just amazing in what they do. And there's a segment of the guided meditation that is instructing you to descend back down into your body. And it does this a few times, right? But Dr. Foster doesn't know what my meditation is about. She just knows I'm doing a gateway meditation. That's all she knows. Where astral project, I don't know what. She might have, she doesn't know she doesn't do the gateway meditation. She doesn't know what's involved, what Monroe is telling you to do. And I have headphones on, so there's no way for her to hear. And as I am being told by Robert Monroe through his guided meditation to descend back down into your body, into your physical body, return to your body, I hear her whispering commentary. She didn't think I could hear her. And I hear her saying, I feel like he's going back into his chair. He's coming back down into the chair now. She said that at the exact same time I am hearing Monroe guiding my astral body back down into my astral body into my physical body in the chair. It was crazy. It was wild. It was really, really cool. Now, something else that directly relates to just why this podcast exists happened during that same meditation. I don't know how much in depth I've ever gotten into this. I'm sure somewhere along the way I have mentioned it. It is not something I bring up very often, and it has to do with the lizard in my brain. Now, people are more likely to believe that I dated a woman who could shapeshift than they are that I have a lizard in my brain, right? Okay, now, is there a gecko running around in my head? No. That's not what this is about. But many years ago, part of the reason one of the reasons I would tell people I had a lizard in my brain is this. And if you've never listened to the podcast before, this is what it is. Okay. This is a guy talking about, unabashedly talking about a lizard that lives in his brain. So and if this isn't your jam, I suggest you can, sorry, but I'm sure there's a bunch of peanut butter on the shelves you could get as well, if this jam is not to your liking. So one of the things is I would feel a sensation in the back bottom of my head, towards the bottom of your skull. You can feel it on the back of your head there. And I would feel a weird physical sensation, almost like an itch or a tickle, as if a lizard was in there trying to gently claw its way out of the back bottom of my head. Right? That's what it felt like, and will feel like if it happens, because it's not stopped happening. It doesn't happen every day or all the time, but the lizard is still there. Okay? Lizard ain't gone nowhere. Okay? Lizard ain't gone nowhere. Okay, is that who's that? I'm a lizard expert. You're a what? I'm a metaphysical lizard expert. You're the what? The metaphysical lizard expert? That's right, I'm a lizard handler. I handle metaphysical astral lizards. You handle metaphysical astral lizards. That's all right. Expert. Don't forget the expert part. So M-A-L-E. That's right, I'm a male. Okay. We'll talk to you later, male. Now, I'm trying to actually be serious here, even though what I'm talking about might seem utterly ridiculous to people. I'm trying to, can we... Well, yeah, I'm telling you, I'm just a metaphysical... Okay, wait, where did the... Astral, okay, lizard, yeah, expert. Now we're coming up on another commercial, Mel, and we're going to have to finish this when we get back. Okay, Male sidetrack. I'll sidetrack you? Yes, you did. Well, I'll be a metaphysical astral lizard expert. I'll be. You. This is when it happens. This is when I fall off the cliff. This is when the cliff of sanity crumbles into the ocean of who gives a fuck, apparently. We're gonna be right back. Okay, I'm back, and I swear I've tried to compose myself. I can't help but think Male has been influenced by old-time Hollywood because the Oscars were last night. I don't know if you watched the Oscars. I certainly did. And Male almost sounds like an old Hollywood, an old Hollywood. Oh, well, you don't say I do I? Okay. Now, I have to move on, Male, so excuse me. So like I was saying, the lizard, I used to tell people there was a lizard in my brain. I would feel that sensation at the bottom of my brain, on the back. It was like a tickle or a scratch, an itch, or an itch that you'd want to scratch. The other component of that is that whenever I would feel the lizard, a great change was getting ready to happen in my life, whether I realized it or not. Now, I would also see the lizard during meditations. During meditations, from time to time, I didn't meditate a lot 20 years ago, right, or whenever this was. When I first started putting a name to this sensation, I was not a meditator, at least anywhere close to being on a daily basis. But from time to time, if I closed my eyes, I would see a singular reptilian eye. I would just close my eyes and I would see an eyeball in the dark, murky, vision that you have when you close your eyes. Because when you close your eyes, it's not, as long as you have sight, you still see, but you just see darkness. Your eyes don't stop seeing because your eyes are closed. You ever think about that? Isn't that weird? I've just never said that sentence out loud. You never stop seeing. They're just covered with, they're just being blindfolded, even though your eyes don't stop working. Isn't that, wow, I'm starting to like, your eyes don't shut off. Oh, wow, this is crazy, right? I'm just now thinking of this for the first time. Your eyes don't have an on and off switch. Oh, golly, I'm like blowing my own gourd open right now. So anyway, this is kind of got me gourd explosion over here. So what happens is I see a singular reptilian lizard eye profile, and it will on occasion blink sideways. That's why I really know it's a lizard and a reptilian eye, because it blinks sideways, even though it's clearly reptilian and lizard, and it blinks sideways, and it's like staring at me, and I'm just staring at it in the darkness. It's floating, right? It's pretty wild when it happens. So, cut to last week, I'm doing a gateway meditation. Now I see suddenly, and it's been, quite frankly, it's been years. Right? I'm starting to get a little tingled and emotional about this suddenly. I don't know why. This is making me like almost, my face is getting swollen, from the inside when you're like, feel like you might cry. I see the lizard eye and I'm like, oh shit. Oh shit, right? Not in a bad way, but like, oh wow, where have you been? Wow. And in that moment, I'm realizing, oh, I have not seen you in quite some time. And then I start, I'm having an moment. You know those? You know those. And then I see, for the first time in my recollection, it goes from profile to straight on. Now I'm seeing two. The lizard is looking at me for the very first time. Now I am face to face with the eyes of the lizard, and not just a singular lizard eye. Now, how weird has this gotten? How weird has this episode gotten for you on a scale of 1 to lizard eyes? Message me, whatever that rating might be for you. So now I see 2 lizard eyes straight on looking at me. And I am like, oh. And I am feeling the juice in this moment. And I am not overwhelmed necessarily with emotion, but I am in it. Okay. And this is meanwhile being guided into an astral travel out of my physical body simultaneously while this is happening, right? While Dr. Foster is pretty much doing an exact play-by-play, even though she has no idea what I'm listening to. There's a confluence of events here that are happening that are pretty wild. The lizard eyes then transform, which not happened ever before. Okay, I just have to let you know this has not happened. The lizard eyes transform into female eyes, like female humanoid eyes. Now this female face in the darkness, but yet still kind of, I don't know, some indigo, I guess, is there? Strange indigo shadows are there, which I've also seen in Astral. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. And she's staring at me. And it's serious. But it's not trouble serious. It's just powerful serious. And then her eyes glow. They light up. And I am on the verge of like a breakdown at this point, emotionally. Not like in a bad way. My eyes start watering. They're watering right now, just retelling the event. I'm on the precipice of like a sob. It's a beautiful, you ever been overwhelmed with beauty in such a way and in a moment where you're you have no choice but to create liquid from your eyes. I guess people would call that crying. So let's try to use the language humans use. Yes, we shall. Thank you, person pretending not to be human, but we all know you're human. Well, whatever you say. Okay, got it. Is this weirder now? For the first, imagine being a first-time listener. So, and if you're still here, if you're a first-time listener and you're still here, I got to tell you, at 49 is happening, boom, right now. I'd love you for that you're still here. The female eyes, they light up. And I'm like, oh gosh, I kind of start crying. Okay. I'm just a normal 48-year-old dude at a paranormal location hotspot wearing a Muse brainwave headband, super nice headphones, listening to an astral projection guided meditation on a, Thursday afternoon, filming it, hoping to show the world that everything weird is actually true. And then the eyes morph again from female. It goes from lizard to female. They light up. And then I start crying. And then it morphs again into a creature's eyes. What I can only describe as canine. Like a wolf or a dog eyes. And these eyes they're not menacing, but they're also not, hey, come over and let's hang out and drink some coffee together kind of eyes. But they're not menacing, but they're not, hey, we should be buddies. They're powerful and strong and serious. And that power is what gives them the weight of like, oh, wow. A little intimidating, right? And so, and then soon after that, the meditation was over and, we finished our experiment. And it was bonkers. Quite frankly, it was, I don't know what I expected to happen. These things were not on the list. And I don't know how long it had been since I'd seen the lizard eye, let alone never seen both lizard eyes, but it happened. So I don't know what's getting ready to happen. Something is getting ready to happen. I can't tell you what, but I can guarantee you something big and transformational will in fact be happening, well, most assuredly in my life. I can't speak for you, and I don't know if the lizard is a signifier for you. But if you feel deeply connected to lizards in the way I do, which is such a fun sentence to say as a grown-up who grew up in the Catholic Church, if you feel deeply connected to lizards like I do, seeing how I saw both lizard eyes for the first time ever in a closed eye meditation situation, even though I would see the lizard eye previously years ago without even trying to meditate, I would just have my eyes closed and the lizard eye would show up. But maybe I was meditating and didn't realize it at the time, right? The point is, if you feel deeply connected to lizards, I would go out on a limb here and I would tell you that you might also be coming up upon maybe a major change or a drastic situation in your life. Now, I can't be certain about that, but if you know me, I think I did my first ever predictions podcast. I don't know, earlier just a little while ago. But I will tell you this. If you do have a connection in some way, whether it's a power animal or a spirit animal, potentially, that is a lizard, or maybe you have a familiar that is a lizard. I'm wondering. I'll be curious to know. I would think that it's very likely that something you got a whammy coming. Or maybe it's I hope it's good and not bad, but a major transformation is on the way. Anyway, thank you for listening. That's going to do it for today. We're going to wrap this up now. RyanSingerComedy.com's got tour dates June, July, August. I'm out there, baby. Come see me. And if you're anywhere close to Indianapolis, I hope you'll come to the special. I'll give more details about that another time when I have those. Now, what else is there? Oh, I love you. I hope you love yourself. Okay? You deserve it, right? You deserve that. So why don't you give it to yourself? I think you can do that. I know you can. And I'll do my best to do it for me over here. Okay? And we'll get through all this together, whatever it is. Whatever it is. Disclosure is happening. It's rapid. I watched episode 6 of the Dr. Greer podcast. I don't know if I reported on that. I honestly can't remember if I did or not. I'm sure another episode's coming out soon, and I'll give you everything I know about that and more from the disclosure book that I'm trying to dig into. So, okay. Patreon.com/Ryan Singer. If I don't see you at a live show, in Arcata, Savage Henry this weekend, I'll see you at the watering hole on the Astral plane.